I didn't. How did that go? I don't think I've really talked to. I think I talked to Tavis about it, but I haven't really talked to anyone too much about it. Yeah, I can hear you.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Okay, there we go. How was uh how was your day,
How was my day?
Clint?
Who? Me?
Yes. Okay, no, there we go. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry everyone. Embarrassing Humans, Jake, David, Clint. Hi, we're going to
I
talk about Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights. I'm going through what I said while the mic was apparently not working. So we're catching up on things. I don't think anyone's even in the fucking room yet. So
a few
no,
people, I
there are
think.
two people. Sorry guys, my mic was something was going on there. We were catching up. We did a show last Monday at Live on Elgin for the Winnipeg Comedy Festival. I did a bunch of stuff, new stuff, old stuff, stuff I did like one time before. Um, did I do one of the jokes last week on here? I did, right? Like the
Oh
Oh, the
yeah, we
thing that
talked
ended
about.
with the Asian guy with the bowl of soup. That one.
right. No, yes, that
Yeah.
is one of the jokes, but I did not do that joke because that is not TV
Oh.
clean.
All right.
And then
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
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 So then the other joke I
I
had
knew.
was that I cut. Like it's funny. I ended like I had. I'm kind of glad I did it this way because I had my like first year closing joke as my second to last joke, which was I think like the Cole's notes is I like met a girl and I saw pictures of her and then I saw pictures of her kid and I'm like total deal breaker because like my kids are super freaking hot, right? Like they're not gonna be hanging around with these ladies ugly ass kids. That's the joke. Like that was that's what I did as my closer my first year before the P joke fell into my lap. That was my
Yeah.
closer. Um,
Weird way to describe something about pee falling
it's
into your
true.
lap.
It's true. So then I ended with I had that and then I did the story that I think I did on here about where I like hooked up with the girl, the lady, I should say woman, and I'm like having sex with her in her gazebo in the
Gazebo?
backyard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that like completely fell flat. Like there was laughs at it, but also like the biggest laugh on it was me trying to describe doggy style in like uh like a
Like
TV
TV
friendly
clean,
yeah.
like
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, so we were both like staring the same way if you guys can like picture that and like she's just a bit lower than me, but then I like held my hand there to like make it like clear like where my hands were."
yeah.
So that was my
Honestly,
um
it's not like I did the or what theme did you like the sex theme? Was that
yeah,
your theme?
almost everybody did that, which does not
Okay.
bode well for the
No.
submissions.
I did the sex theme too. I think there was only two of us that did it on my submission filming night, but I think my favorite thing about it is describing like really sexual things in a TV clean way. It just makes it funny. Like I started
Yeah.
thinking about taking my dick out and I'm like, so I like removed myself like from my bed. Like I just like I don't know, finding the more like clinical ways to say it just sort of makes it funnier for some reason. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
It's awkward in a funny way.
Yeah, that's why
Um
I've always thought it's funnier in jokes to say penis instead of dick. It's just funnier to me for some reason.
yeah, I don't know.
You
I
don't
mean
agree? You don't agree on my dick penis philosophy?
we'll have to try it out sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, that's really all I had this week. I somehow got hooked into helping Felice Miranda produce the last.
Yeah, someone told me you like do that now. Is that or was that just a one-time thing or
Uh, it's gonna be at least for the next two shows, and then we're gonna reevaluate how it's working. So,
Does
uh,
that
okay.
mean you can book me on it?
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say you should get me on one of those.
so yeah, no, Ari basically just like left to
So she
Montreal.
just found the next American that she knew
Uh,
on her list.
no, apparently she had someone else like hooked up to try and do it with her, but then didn't like working with them. And Ari had mentioned that he asked me, and where the conversation Ari and I ended is like, "What do you need me to do? Like, what does
Mhm.
this entail?" Um, And then so I just was like, she emailed me. She's like, I need help filling spots for Saturday. She's like, can you do it? And then I saw who's on the show. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm doing that show. So I got Emmett to go do the show. He featured it. And for some reason, she put on 2 more acts for guys that showed up. And I'm like,
I ran into Emmett last night. He was talking about that.
yeah, I like, if I was there, I would have said, thanks for showing up. Thank you for the supporting show. But like, this is already a too long show as it is. So like, don't like, so
Emmett said when they announced there was 2 more people, the crowd like audibly sighed, basically.
yeah.
Like after his feature set, they had 2 more people?
before, like they extended the show.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it went because it was
a typical Wednesday night.
No,
this was a Saturday. A Wednesday on
I've
a
seen
Saturday.
that happen at Wednesdays though.
Right. It's I'm not in charge of the talent that we're booked on these shows. It's just me trying to make the best out of what's there. So like
okay, I'm not here to like shit talk anybody necessarily, but the only time I ever did one of these Don't Quit Your Day Job shows, like probably my first year into comedy, I was on stage. She introduced me. I went on. I got the mic. 45 seconds in, she just stood up and went, "That's the wrong mic," even though it was working, and then walked onto stage and took the mic from me in the middle of my joke while I stood there and waited for her to switch mics for seemingly no reason really at all. It didn't change anything except for the momentum of my set. So
all that sounds about right. My favorite memory from doing those shows was, I think it was my first year of comedy. May 2017, and I'm doing this show at Cafe Hareg on Bank Street, which is an Ethiopian restaurant. It's like kind of across from where the Works is on Bank Street, like that part of Bank Street. Like not quite the Glebe, but you're kind of going into the Glebe area.
That's officially the Glebe, I think.
Yeah, but it's still
after the bridge.
It's still kind of rough, right? Like just south of Clock Tower. Like Spence is there, so it's a little rough.
Yeah, exactly.
But like you're doing comedy and then like you look over and like there's 2 older Ethiopian women making coffee in little stools and like the traditional way, which was like cool as shit that they're doing that, but also somewhat distracting doing a stand-up set in front of 6 people. So it was I told her, I was like, I'll work with you and I'll you guys have given me a lot of opportunities. I'll help you the best I can. And I said, I'll help you do these 3 shows and then we'll see how it works if we want to keep doing this. But I told her, I was like, for what you're paying people to do this, you could actually put on a good show. Like you pay your feature $50, like your host $30, and then your like all these random people in the middle $20 each. I'm like, you can get less random people in the middle, pay more to the feature and the host, and maybe get like. But I told her, I was like, I don't want to like. Because these shows are important to people just starting out, of like giving them an opportunity to do stand up somewhere else on a weekend night. So I'm like, I still want to have those 2 to 3 open spots, but I'd like to like scale back on like the number and like tighten it up a bit. But like I was trying to make sense of this lineup and who we had booked, and I'm just like, okay, like I need to like look at the strongest. I put Emmett as feature, and then I looked at the lineup. It was like, who's the strongest person I have in this lineup? Because they're going right in the middle. Because I need them to save the show. If and then like I put who's not really good right before and right after him, just to save him if that can't. But like pretty much the next week too, this coming show. So now that she's doing a show in Barhaven as well, like there's one this coming Saturday, and same kind of deal. Like she so told me she wanted to host it, and like Aaron Hill,
and it's another one you can't go to, right?
Yeah, because I have my kids.
I thought
this one I can't go to because I have my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and also one of them is on the show as well.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah.
So but I told her, I was like, okay, here's how I would do the lineup. Also, respectfully, with all respect, you should not host it. I was like, I think I need to get through to her that hosting is literally the hardest thing to do, like especially on a show that's stacked with a lot of not tested, I'll say is the most diplomatic way of putting it, people. So like she had Aaron in the lineup, and I'm like, okay, Aaron needs to host this show. It's like, please make Aaron the host. And I asked Aaron, I was like, can you host this? He's like, sure. and then Wafik is featuring. Oh, sorry, there's two people that I shouldn't be going to interact with at this show.
I forgot. I actually forgot about that.
So Wafik is featuring.
Okay.
And then Lifshitz is on the show. So Lifshitz, I put him smack dab in the middle, and I told him, Michael, I told Felicis, I was like, if he's doing well, just let him stay up there as long as he fucking wants. Just let him stay up there as long as he wants. If he's got the room going, just let him keep going. Like don't let it get out of hand, but like just let him keep going. So I told Michael that. But yeah, it's like it's a regular. Making these lineups is just like, oh god, like what am I gonna do to these poor people?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, this is a pretty good transition if we're talking about rough shows into my night last night.
Yes.
If anyone wants to hear about,
I really do. Yeah, I was sorry I couldn't make it out to the.
No,
you
might have gotten you might have gotten lucky not being able to make it last night.
Oh,
it
okay.
I don't know. It was fun, like in retrospect, but like that show is like already sort of supposed to be chaotic. It's like a sort of talk show, sort of variety show, sort of stand-up show, and we kind of like.
And this was at Swizzles, right?
Yes, that's Swizzles. It's my talk show, The Night Show, and we sort of like fly by the seat of our pants. And I like encouraging like weird things that aren't really stand-up, kind of like a more like reined in version of the Mitch and Mike live show a little bit, right. Which I know Clint and I have both been on. I'm not sure.
So if I can just give two examples to the viewers. Mitch and Mike are two sweetly retarded gentlemen who used to run a show here in Ottawa. I'm just kidding. We don't say that word anywhere. They're both artistic. But if I can explain, just give an example of Clint appeared on one Mitch and Mike Live, competitively eating hot dogs, I believe was what you did. And then David, I will never forget this the day I die, showed up with a steamer trunk full of cooked spaghetti that he had this running gag about. Oh my god, I got the wrong trunk because you're supposed to be a ventriloquist.
Yeah, I mixed up my dummy trunk with my spaghetti trunk.
Right.
Was that the same show?
I don't think so.
No, I think I did the hot dog one first, and you did the spaghetti on the next one because there had to be a food component to every show.
Yeah.
And then he did the ventriloquist act with a handful of spaghetti.
Yeah, and all the jokes were about like wooden dummies, like there's a lot of hot women here. I'm getting wood, but I got a handful of spaghetti.
Yes.
It was, and I gotta credit Mitch was pretty much the genius behind that whole gag, so I gotta just give him.
Never
credit.
has genius used been so liberally in a sentence. Okay, what? So you're doing a reined-in version of that?
Sort of. Like it's a lot of like actual stand-up, and then we do sort of like riffy interviews after the sets. After each set, they sit down, we do sort of riffy interviews, and then I like having weird stuff. So like Mitch actually, he does a video every month, and it's him usually pitching like a business idea. So he's pitched like a mystery box one time. I can't remember what the first one was. Oh, it was a karaoke business but there were only parody karaoke songs. So like there was a WAP one that was like sores in my mouth, got these sores in my mouth. And it was about hard ass candy. Sorry. Giving him sores in his mouth. He had like weird jokes like that. But anyway, this one he did this week was really fun. He did he was just pitching Duolingo, like just like an already existing business. He was pitching Duolingo, but he had like the video on the screen of him like talking, but then he was on the stage and he was like interacting with it. Like it would be like, what do you think, Mitch? And then he would like interact with the video of himself. But then the video of himself started telling the real version of himself that he like fucked his mom and like his mom's into choke fucking. Like, did you know your mom likes choke fucking? And like it just got really insane. Oh, he wore a Hitler mustache at one point on the stage. That happened.
But you could have described that story without telling us that was Mitch Muirhead, and I'm sure we would have all hit it right on the head.
Yeah, you figured it out. Yeah,
yeah.
Sure.
I would have said Mitchell.
It's on brand.
Yeah,
Mitchell Muirhead.
So yeah, and he ended his set. It was actually awesome because like so I do questions at the end, but Mitch always provides his own questions. He gives me like a list of questions from the stage to read. And they were like, there was some that was sort of like meant to antagonize this guy who had been heckling, but like to throw me under the bus because I had to read the questions. So that kind of was a thing. But then all the questions were like stupid or whatever. And there was like 15 of them. And the very last one was, Rebecca, will you marry me? And then Mitch got down on one knee and very like sincerely in the face, like kind of like gazed out into the crowd on one knee. And then like, I just sort of had to play along. And I was like, oh man, like, I don't think she's here, Mitch. And then he just got like so sad in the face, like so convincingly heartbroken that the crowd thought it was real. They like full blown were like, oh my God. Like everyone was like so sad for him. And then he just left the stage. That was how he ended his set.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really funny. But so the whole thing of the show was like we had a full room and none of them knew a comedy show was going to happen, which, as I'm sure you've all been a part of a show like that before.
Yeah.
It's a hard sell a lot of time, especially when you're doing what I just described as like a pretty weird fucking show. Laura McLean did a set through like a robot kids karaoke machine that the mic only works if you play a song at the same time. So, and the voice gets all augmented and basically impossible to hear. So it was like 6 minutes of just unintelligible nonsense while like Ring Around the Rosie played. So that was pretty awesome. See, I'm enjoying like saying all this stuff now. And I'm like, yeah, that was really fun. But in the moment, I'm like,
it was not
helming
enjoyable.
this nightmare ship.
Yeah.
And
because you could tell the audience was not enjoying it.
well, some of them were like some stuff worked. The Mitch stuff worked pretty good. Some Laura's stuff worked like on and off in that weird like when you do something ridiculous for too long kind of way. Yeah, so there was like one table that like half the table was into it and the other half of the table was just drunk and talking amongst themselves. And then there was one guy in the middle who was like participate heckling, which is like maybe my least favorite kind of heckling because they just have no idea that they're not helping. And then get mad when you get mad at them. And he was doing that kind of all night. And like everyone was kind of addressing it. And at the end of the night, I closed it off with Jeffrey Davis doing roasts, which was awesome. He was like, bring down the house. But then that guy started like heckling him. And Jeff kind of like snapped a little bit. And the guy was just like, why are you reading from your phone? And Jeff's like, I wrote these like within the hour. Like I'm more creative than you, I think he said to the guy. And then, so the guy had a cane. And at the very end, me and Jeff are sort of trying to do the interview. The guy won't shut the fuck up. He's yelling that Jeff isn't funny. And then Jeff said something along the lines, and he's already been on and off with this guy through his whole set. And he said something along the lines of, I wonder how you got that cane. And then he mimed somebody like smash kicking someone in the leg going, shut the fuck up. And that's pretty much how he closed the show. And that was kind of our last thing of the show. And then a woman apparently came. I think I'm okay to tell this because we all thought it was pretty funny. A woman, because apparently the cane didn't belong to the man. It belonged to a woman with him. And then she came up and started giving Jeff shit about shitting on her, even though he never once addressed her. And then basically she kept freaking out at him. And then he just said, look, if you're looking for an apology, you're not getting one. And then she left. So those are some of the stories from last night. It was a wild ride.
That's great.
We all got out of there feeling different and weird, I would say. But so I don't know if you're glad you missed that or not, Jake.
Well, it's just the hallmark of a fucking like of a chaotic but super awesome night is that it ends with some comic having to explain themselves to someone who didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Well, the beauty of it was that he didn't even try to. He basically was just like, look, I'm not giving you anything. Like, I dealt with your shitty boyfriend all night. Get out of here, basically.
Oh my gosh. Just the credits roll on someone angry and yelling at a comic. That's really fucking funny.
Also, I just got a text from Trevor like 10 minutes ago telling me that a can of tuna that I didn't really know that much about that apparently he brought home with him from the bar is expired. So just so everyone's
okay.
Just so you know, maybe don't take random bar tuna.
Was he on the show?
Yeah, very last minute.
Okay.
He was just like, can I have a spot? And then he immediately took it back. And then I was like, no, I actually kind of need like somebody else. So he bulleted for me.
Gotcha. Oh, Trina's here. Trina's here. This is perfect because Trina was the one who gave me an angry emoji when I explained what my last 24 hours were like, eating the spiciest Thai food that I have ever had. So I will tell you guys about this in detail because this happened while you guys were doing this. I went with my lady friend to the Christmas market at Lansdowne where we both got day drunk, drinking first apple cider, which is fucking great. The 5% apple cider. If you could give me that if I could get a jug of that here, like heated at all time, I would have that all the time.
Oh, it was like mold cider.
Mold, like 5%, like
Yeah.
that was good. That was good. That was like
That shit's
classy.
awesome.
That was classy. We're doing okay.
Yeah, it's like kind of Christmassy. You're pretending that you're being like in
Yeah.
the spirit while you're getting day drunk.
Yeah, and we're standing by these little fires. We're walking around. They just had it was just all overpriced soaps. But then booze. There was a lot of different booze. But then there's this distillery that was there from Canada, I don't know what some kind of distillery, and they had my lady friend got a hot chocolate toddy type of thing, like hot chocolate with whiskey. But then I got a hot toddy, and oh buddy, by the time I finished that, I was like, and she didn't really finish both of hers, either the cider or the hot chocolate, so I finished those as well. And then we went and saw a
So you said we got day drunk, but it kind of sounds
mainly
like
me.
we got day drunk on a date.
And then we went to we saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, which
fuck.
was awesome, and I cried like a child at the end.
I keep hearing that people keep
Oh my
crying during
God.
it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't want to
cool.
spoil it, but it's
Right? Is it like a nostalgia cry?
Oh,
I
yeah.
assume it's a nostalgia cry.
very
Okay.
much a nostalgia cry. So then we Ubered back to her place, and we were gonna go out to dinner, but it's late, and so it's like, okay, we ordered food. So like she's vegetarian, so we're looking at food, like this Thai place. This is what I think was the problem, is they closed in 15 minutes. And I think we pissed them off by ordering when they closed in 15 minutes, because they had different levels of spicy, and I got level 2 of 5. She's East Indian. She got level 3 of 5. And so then it came, and it was like the spiciest fucking food I have ever had in my life. Same with her. She's like, she ate like 3 bites of hers, maybe like the vegetables and a little bit of the noodle. She's like, I can't do it. But then I
Sounds like
kept
this girl wastes a lot of food and drink based on everything you've said about her.
Well, she put
Not
it in
finishing
her
anything.
She put it in her fridge. I don't know what, like there was chili flakes all over this thing. There was a certain point in my eating this where I stopped tasting it, and I'm like, oh, I must be okay now. That should have been an alarm bell that if I can't taste it anymore to stop. But no, I kept eating it because I was hungry and ate the whole thing. And so she's like, oh, you're going to be paying for that later. And I'm like, oh, I hope not. Then we go to bed. And then 3 a.m. rolls around. And I have to go to the bathroom so bad. And you guys, I'm sure, have had the experience where you have spicy food. And let's just say it does things to your bottom area that is not good. Here's one thing I never thought could happen. My pee burned because of the spiciness.
Whoa.
And I was immediately freaked out because I'm like, is this...
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Is this not... Is this... I'm like, please tell me this is something that happens with spicy food. And then I looked it up, and it is. So I'm like, oh, thank God. But then my dick hurt. My dick hurt for like a couple of hours of me trying to sleep because of spicy food. It's like the acidity of it. It's like your body just basically is like, I can't deal with this. It's going out any way it can. And then I like... she lives in this small condo, so like for the longest time, like we're kind of getting more comfortable with each other. So I'm like, this is my first time shitting at her place, and I shit 3 times today.
What a monumental first shit, honestly.
I know.
Came out of the gate strong, dude. Like,
Then first thing in the morning, then we had breakfast. I'm like, oh yeah, it was just like it wasn't.
what does it say about me that I never care about the first shit at like a girl, like a new partner's house? Like everybody poops. It's like the oldest.
I
rule.
know, but not like this. Not like this.
Right,
like
yeah.
Not like this.
Memorable, sure.
It was so yeah, I think it's funny. I ran it by Ari Black. I told him the name of I posted about it today on as Trina knows. I posted about it, and he's like, where'd you go? He's like, and then I told him where I went, and he's like, that's weird because like I've usually got like their like level 3, the one she got, and he's like, it's usually not spicy enough and I have to ask for more. Damn. And I'm like, has your pee ever burned because it's so spicy? And he's like, no. He's like, something was wrong. And I'm like, yeah, I think they were pissed at us. Like they were mad that we ordered just before close, basically.
Give him the penis one.
Give him the penis one.
Give him the one that fucks with your dick.
Oh my
That's all we got left. Nobody ever orders it on purpose.
Oh my God. So yeah, that was my Saturday night while you guys were getting my...
I felt like I was pissing fire last night just based on the pure anxiety of running a fucking hell show.
David, I will please don't ever co-opt my experience. It was the worst. It was some of the worst pain I have ever felt. And it just like, there's nothing you can do. Like it's burning not just on the outside of your penis, but like the inside, the urethra. It's like, ladies, if I can draw. No, I'm just kidding. It was.
And I'd say the worst pain I ever had. I don't think this isn't actually funny. This might be sad. I went home to New Brunswick one summer and I accidentally just drank like every day, like too much, and I tore my stomach lining. I tore my stomach lining from like excessive drinking, and I just woke up like in crib, like I could barely move, and they had to give me like numbing shit to numb the inside of me, and they're like, yeah, you're supposed to wait for it to like fix itself. And
wow.
So again, that's not like funny. That's like maybe alarming. I don't know.
Yeah, that in terms of your sad, funny stories, that was definitely on the sad scale. But
yeah. I've been hit by a car, and I'd rather that than the stomach lining thing ever again.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that hit by a car thing.
Have I never told you about? I
No.
won't get into it now, but
Well, yeah, we'll talk.
we can tie it in maybe.
Yeah, I feel like I should introduce that. The purpose of the show usually is we talk about movies, old comedies that we may or may not have seen before. This week we were talking about the film Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, 2006 Will Ferrell classic. It's the 15th anniversary this year. You guys, I'm sure, have all seen it, right? I think this was like a staple of like all of our, like Clint and Jake and I's young adulthood and, you know, your teen years.
I was 16, I think. Yeah, 16. So yeah,
prime time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This was like at the height of Will Ferrell's power, I would say. Like this was before he started getting really annoying, which I think you can track in other films such as Blades of Glory or I don't know, something else. But what was like I saw on the IMDb, I'm sure you saw this, Jake, where it was like saying how this was just pitched as Will Ferrell drives a NASCAR, something like that. Like,
and that used to be enough. Like
Yeah.
Will Ferrell does X thing was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
hey, dude, you know, before oversaturation happened. But anyway, continue.
Yeah.
no, I think you're right. Like this was.
It's like a very similar formula. Sorry, it's just like it's such a similar formula to Anchorman. Like,
Sure.
Will Ferrell is at the top of his game, and something happens. He falls totally to the bottom, and then has to like redeem himself. Which I guess is just like the hero's journey or whatever. Probably like in a lot of things, but yeah, those movies are pretty similar in that formula.
I like the story arc of this one in that like the whole theme of the thing can be summed up with, hey, you remember that line that I don't know I shared with you guys in the chat, like John C. Reilly yelling through the car as Ricky Bobby is sitting behind the wheel about to like do his race for the first time. He yells at him, "Hey Ricky, you remember when we got told not to play with Matchbox cars in biology class? Yeah? Well, who's retarded now?" And it's just sort of like I mean, the idea is that it doesn't matter like how stupid you are in your approach to a thing as long as you're successful, and like at the end of the movie, he learns absolutely nothing. And like, I mean, now he's doing exactly the same thing he always did, but he's not afraid of the fact that he's doing it for no money anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the whole point of it. I really liked that a lot. But yeah. It's the hero's journey, I guess. But it's just it's fun that he learns absolutely nothing by the end of it. Like what you were doing, that was perfect. Keep doing that.
Keep doing that.
I feel like he does learn something though, because he like the big hang up he has during the movie is his dad.
Oh, arrogance and that too.
Like and his dad's basically like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. Don't like try and prove anything to me. Like I'm just a piece of shit. And he's like, oh. It's like there's no redeeming his father. His father's just like, just give up on me. And then like
and Gary Cole is so awesome. That guy's
Gary
awesome.
Cole's great.
He is fantastic in this.
And like when you think he's gonna turn it around, is like he shows up to get the tickets. 2 tickets here, tickets.
Right, yeah, sure. It was fun that they never really brought the movie to church or whatever, like there was, I guess, a little bit of sappiness every now and then, but it was kind of like in the turn was, this means nothing, sort of thing. Like even right at the end of it, do you guys want to go to get Applebee's and get kicked out, sort of thing? The end.
The most, I would say the only characters that were really redeemed in this entire movie are the kids. Like they were
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
ones, and they were
Walker and Texas Ranger.
Walker and Texas
Right.
Ranger when and like the
We
cast.
can name them Dr. Quim and Medicine Woman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's my favorite line of the movie.
Fucking
If we
great.
wanted wussies, we'd have named him Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the cast of this is, I mean, fantastic. You have first off, I think he's the director, right? Adam McKay.
Yep.
Has a very prominent cameo in the beginning of the film as the driver who just leaves the race and goes to eat.
I didn't know that was.
That's Adam
Didn't know
McKay.
that.
Yeah, he's. You guys go on. I'm just finished.
Right.
You guys.
I gotta
gonna get a
finish this and make a phone call, and then I'll come back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get. That's how he gets his big break. You have like crazy level talent as his pit crew with like UCB alumni. One of the UCB guys is there. You also have
Jack McBrayer.
Jack McBrayer.
David Koechner there.
David
yeah.
Koechner as his pit crew. What's his name? The guy.
What's his name? Oh my God,
from
dead.
Green Mile.
What the fuck is it? Yeah.
Uh,
what is his name?
I literally looked up his name before this.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark
Yeah,
Duncan.
yeah, I knew there was a
Yeah.
Duncan in there.
Michael
Fuck,
Clark
okay.
Duncan as the pit boss. And then
I was looking up his credits. I was looking up his credits, and he did a voice in the like Family Guy TV movie from 2006, and he's the voice of. There's like one quick cutaway bit where like a stork delivers a baby, and they're like, "Hey, where's the baby?" And the stork's like, "Baby, you and me are gonna make the baby,"
that's
and like
right.
puts on like a sex lamp, and that's Michael Clark Duncan doing the voice of the stork, which is like always been one of my favorite Family Guy jokes.
Ian Roberts, sorry, that's who it was from UCB. You have Greg German as the villain, kind of. He's not really that big of a villain in this.
The first sign of weakness, he turns his best friend against him with his wife,
right.
and gets him fired. I mean, like I'd say that's like a bad guy. Like
but
he
yeah,
tries to
but-
ruin
And
his
then
life.
tries to kill him at the end.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Runs to your threshold is all over the place, dude. Bad people.
His wife is the always lovely Molly Shannon, who was hilarious in this film,
Oh,
just
yeah.
as
Oh,
the
yeah.
perpetually drunk rich wife.
Yeah, getting off on the vibrations, of the race cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amy Adams is in this Academy Award. Was she a winner now by this time, or no? Not by this time, but is she now? I think she's been nominated for sure. Jane
Doing
Lynch?
that distracted, like, sense of wonder thing constantly, you know? Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about with her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little hard to, whatever. But yeah, like, you see a lot of that in Arrival, you know? Like, that thing? Anyway. Yeah.
She's never won an Oscar. She's been nominated 6 times. That's
Damn.
crazy.
Oh.
And was nominated the year this movie came out for the movie called Junebug. Did you guys see that? Junebug?
No.
Can't remember what that is.
Do you know that June bugs are covered in? Maybe this isn't real, but I someone told me back in the day that June bugs are like covered in semen, and then they just bump into each other, and that's like how they reproduce.
Okay,
That's-
and so the idea there is that somebody's trying to explain why they just bash into things?
I
And, like,
guess,
and that
I don't
must
know.
be it?
And
Oh,
they
okay.
have like whatever their reproductive stuff is like on them, and it somehow they like smash into each other, and it like transfers over. As I'm saying it,
Somebody was
sounds.
fucking with
So,
you.
like,
Yeah,
sometimes
it
it's a
sounds
hip
like someone-
check into, like, it's not necessarily the genitals making
Yeah.
contact. They can do it, like, with a leg. Yeah, okay.
Lorenzo's hard
literally
at work
anyone
finding
said-
out, I can tell.
You see anything about that? Where are you looking it up?
Do you think I want to type in June bugs covered in semen into Google? Do you think I want to do
You
that?
can word it a little differently than that.
So it's why do they bump into things?
No, why do they bump into it?
Are
How
they
do
covered in
how do they
semen?
reproduce?
Are
Ask
they
how
covered in
reproduce.
semen?
I'm
Yeah.
not typing that.
Are June bugs covered? Start typing it and see if it fills it in. Maybe it'll fill it in.
Is it okay to cover a June bug in semen? Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. That's great. That's
Yeah.
a good myth. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good myth. I think we should
Okay,
perpetuate
can I
it.
ask you something? The thing about Amy Adams with the face, like, is that a well-known thing?
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
always,
I actually
it's a little known thing about her is her face is always covered in semen because that's
she reproduces.
And she's always really surprised about it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
I always forget who Amy Adams is. Like, who is she in this? I don't even remember.
She's
The
the She's the assistant who's only there so that she's there at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So he has someone to, so he has a backup love interest. Exactly. Yeah, somebody to fuck at the end of it.
What do you say? I'm as hard as a diamond in a snowstorm, I think was the exact line.
Like
But yeah.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So we got nothing on this Junebug thing?
Junebugs lay their eggs like in the underground, so I don't know where semen comes.
Yeah, but how do those eggs?
How do the eggs show up and get fertilized?
Which came first, the semen-covered Junebug or the eggs?
Jesus Christ.
That's what we need to know.
And just female Junebug just holding a bunch of eggs flying around. Boy, I hope nobody runs into me covered in semen. Wham! Yeah.
Maybe I dreamed it. I don't know.
Oh
I
my
have pretty
gosh.
weird dreams. I eat a lot before bed, so who knows?
Come and get him.
If it's not coming up now, it must not be a thing.
No.
I don't know. You know what, Dave? This could be one of those things I'm going to ask you to come back next week and tell us what you learned about Junebug.
Yeah, all right. I'll figure it out. I'm no
or
shame typing about
someone in the chat, if they can look into this. Peter, you're there. Can you Google Junebugs covered in semen and tell us what comes up? I feel like that's acceptable in Kingston, but I don't know about in Ottawa. We have the other people we have on this. He says he'll try. Thank you, Peter. Leslie Bibb is in this as Carly Bobby, who ends up becoming a villain. I had no idea she is married to Sam Rockwell, and I love that for the both of them. They've been together since 2007 apparently, and he's so talented and apparently super nice guy. So it makes me think she must be cool too. So that's great. Then you have Jane Lynch is in this as well as his mom. Yep. John C. Reilly's fucking great in this. Absolutely amazing in this. So is Sacha Baron Cohen and Andy Richter as his husband, Gregory. His husband Gregory. John C. Reilly, I think my favorite parts of this movie still are how John C. Reilly cannot figure out that something is wrong. After he's taken his wife. I love how it all happens in 3 hours. He's like, what happened? He's like, oh yeah, well you guys, I'm getting a divorce. This is not how I wanted you to find out. He's like, did you just crudely tape your picture over my family portraits? And how she just gives him the kids. Here, they're your kids now.
Yeah.
It's
he's so good in it. And I love the shake and bake thing. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean anything. It's not a metaphor. It's just a thing they heard a lot and liked to say.
They're two verbs and they rhyme. It's great.
yeah, I loved that. Yeah, and I also love when the first time they say it on TV, and John C. Reilly's like, "That's our nickname." I was like, "Well, it's not even a nickname. That's just the thing you say."
Yeah, he helps him at the end. He gets taken out, causes a huge crash. I love also how the movie ends with them running to the finish line. It's like, wow, we've never seen anything like that. Of course, it's wildly illegal and won't count at all. And then John C. Reilly ends up winning the big race, which was, I think, was a nice touch because he'd always come in second.
I also loved when he's confessing to comatose Ricky Bobby about his porn being in porn, Mike Honcho, which is such a funny not even porn name really. I mean, I guess it is, but
all of that felt so improvised.
It probably was. There's no way it wasn't.
But Will Ferrell calls it back at the end, right? When they go to do the shake and bake move. It's if it isn't Mike Honcho himself.
Right.
You guys got a porn name that you'd use? I got one. Mine's Cock Johnson. That would be because it means penis twice. So that would be my porn name. I know Cock's not a traditional first name, but I like the sounds of Cock Johnson. So
mine's Junebug.
Yeah.
Cover them
due to your particular style where you show up on the set covered in semen.
Exactly. and Thai food. Burns.
Spicy Junebug.
I just
you don't have to have porn names. I don't know. Cock Johnson is my go-to.
Not. Okay,
It's also my
right,
Disney
yeah.
Plus name, Scott Johnson.
Peter says not looking good for the covered in semen story or my search history. So there you go. That's
Damn.
That's good.
All right.
So
I guess I was a fool. I was just a fool.
fool for believing that.
You know, for my whole life, my cousin, I just believe everything anyone says. Jordan told me that, like where I grew up, there's a lot of coyotes, and I was just kind of worried about it. And my cousin was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Like coyotes have very brittle bones, so if one attacks you, you can just like kick it to death easily." And I looked it up a couple of years ago, and he was just completely wrong about that. A coyote would totally sustain a kick and then just like kill you.
Standard bone density for a dog that size, huh?
Yeah, he just said they had very brittle bones and are very easy to take down if you have to. And I just walked around like confident about that for most of my life. As,
I
like,
hit
it
a
was like-
coyote last year and it did $1,500 of damage to my car and walked away.
Jesus Christ. Walked
Yeah, there
away.
you go.
Good bones on coyotes.
Yeah, it
All
turns
right,
out. Yeah, the fucking Wolverine thing. I can't say adamantium. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
here we go. Peter's got something. The male is attracted by a strongly scented milky fluid secreted by the female. So maybe the lady
Well,
June
there we
bugs
go.
are doused in sauce.
Okay.
Doused in sauce
Wait. This is not semen that these June bugs
The
are
June
What is
bugs
that?
are just
What is that?
wet.
Cum?
Yeah, these are,
June bugs are wet ladies.
they're wet ladies.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
get
gosh.
it. Okay. That works too. Whatever.
Peter, thank you so much for getting to the bottom of this. And we can set the record straight with Jordan when he's on next week that they're not covered in semen, they're covered in pussy juice. Is what
I don't know
Yeah.
if he told me that. He told me the coyote bones thing. I don't know his opinion on June bugs.
Oh, he didn't? Okay. Well, let's.
So he might have. Somebody, I'm pretty sure.
It
told
sounds
me
like
that.
something he would say.
Oh,
That's
yeah. He probably thinks it too. He's probably with me when I heard it.
he's probably yeah. I heard it.
Yeah.
About John C. Reilly, like there is just, I mean, the quality of like the comedy that he's doing in this movie really is just like dizzy cluelessness sort of thing,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
asides kind of, you know, right before the breakout race for Ricky Bobby, he's got that moment where he goes, "Who's retarded now?" And then he goes, "Hey, what are you doing after the race?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And he keeps
He's
saying,
just too
Get your
excited.
wasting time. Oh, okay, you just get going. I love you. What? Nothing. Like, I mean, and it's just sort of that kind of thing throughout the entire movie. It's just like, it's almost like he never really drives the action in any particular direction. It's just him kind of, what'd you say? You know,
Being
sort of
an idiot,
deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always loved
Right.
him in Boogie Nights for kind of that same thing where he
Yeah.
was just sort of a
That's
clueless bimbo idiot kind of guy. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
I love that. And even though it's a little more grounded, right? But it's yeah.
he reminds
Right,
me
yeah.
a lot in this movie, and I guess in a lot of movies he's in, as a puppy dog. Like he's like
Yeah.
a personification of a dog. He's like, although his loyalty is tested. And I love how when he's like, "Well, why'd you do that?" Well, she just came up and grabbed me by the penis, and it's like, "Oh yeah, that'll happen."
It's
like,
attractive
What does he
of a
say it-
botanist.
What does he say at the end of it in the car? Like, well, every time we had sex, she was unconscious.
yes, I know. Yeah,
The fuck was that? Yeah, all right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that, I think.
yeah. He said that. There's so many lines he has that just are just like what? like, but I love how he's so like he's so, especially in the first chunk of the movie, he's so dedicated. But he's also got like these weird little like lines, like we're saying. I think at one point he says, "Damn the torpedoes."
Oh, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
when he's about to do his big move, and then TNT starts playing from AC/DC. This song also prominently features the song "Space Lord" from
Oh, yeah.
it's called from
Yeah.
That was
Matt
from
Monster Magnet there?
Monster
Yeah.
Magnet. That was like old school, like Space Lord Mother. That guy, the lead singer guy, looked just like you, David. He's like almost exactly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are they called?
Monster
What'd you say?
Magnet. Here,
I don't
let's see if
know
can
about.
pull-
I know the name, but I don't really know anything about
let's
them.
see if I can
But
pull up the lead
there's
singer.
good music in this, but also I do love the scene where like Sacha Baron Cohen is like first introduced and he puts on like jazz and just nobody can handle it at all. And
What is that? Turn it off! Turn it off!
I also liked when his arm's broken and he's like passing out and he's just like, I'm losing consciousness on account of the gayness or something like that.
Oh, wait, hold on. We got Emmett joining. Sorry. Let's see. Okay,
Oh,
there's. I'm putting up on the screen the picture of the lead singer
Monster
of
Magnet.
Monster Magnet. which I believe looks just like
That guy
David.
doesn't look like me.
He looks exactly like you. Looks exactly.
Pretty sure I can't totally tell. I think that guy's Asian, first of all.
Oh wow.
What the hell, man? I don't see shit.
Oh,
You have to look on Twitch to see it.
Oh, okay. Forget it then.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just it looks like him. Hi,
I'll look
Emmett.
him up. I can
Emmett,
look him up.
How are you?
What's up,
Hi
buddy?
everybody. Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. You were you missed lots of stories about the show yesterday at Swizzles.
He was there at the end. I think he kind of got the gist of most of it. I think we conveyed a lot of it probably.
Yeah.
And I think you saw some of it, right? Yeah. You saw the big
I got there
finale
when,
with Jeff.
I saw Mitch and Jeff. Yeah. Which was awesome. And then I kind of from their sets understood about the one guy.
Yeah. Were you did you see the woman yell at Jeff after? Were you there when that happened? I didn't see that.
No, I missed that, but I heard from Mitch how he just kept being friends with these people. Like,
oh yeah, Mitch kept encouraging the heckler. Like afterwards, the guy was like, "I don't know, maybe I should have been quiet." And Mitch was like, "No, you got
like, you helped the show so much."
Yeah,
like,
fucking asshole. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing to me?" Like,
that's Mitch. Yeah, we also talked about other things that happened in the week. I talked about my Thai food experience, which the most important thing is that it burned when I pee, Emmett. It was so spicy it burned when I peed, which is a problem.
I didn't know that was possible.
It is. I lived it. And then we started talking about the movie. But real quick,
did you eat it with your dick?
That was your first mistake.
That's how you eat Thai food?
Yeah.
Yeah, like an anteater or
thing,
something.
The
I don't know.
Yeah. The world's grossest elephant.
The other thing that the other thing we talked about, which is going to be very important because we've already had a couple callbacks to this.
This is important. Yeah.
David was told at some point in his childhood that the reason June bugs smash into each other is because one of them is covered in semen, and this is how they mate. And we thought that was bullshit, and then we looked up whatever. But then
it's not exactly true.
Peter Agnatoff and Kingston, we had him on it, and he looked it up, and it's actually not far off. It's the females secrete a juice, if you will, that a pheromone that drives the men crazy, the male June bugs, to get them to.
So I think the smashing is still like the fucking. I'm pretty sure, like
it could be,
yeah.
But
so I'm not totally wrong. They're just not covered in semen, like I thought.
Not yet.
Yeah. Depends when you find the June bug, probably.
Yes.
I guess.
So we've had that discussion, and then we were just talking about John C. Reilly in the movie and how he's an adorable puppy dog with some of the best lines in the movie. But before we continue on that, they kind of mentioned this, and we talked a little bit about the Don't Quit Your Day Job and my now involvement in it. If I was there and two people showed up, regardless of their talent level compared to the rest of the lineup, I would have said, "Sorry guys, it's too long of a show already. No." Now, from what I understand, and I haven't talked to her about this yet, to not do this again. But did they go on right before you? Those two?
Okay, like obviously I'll be diplomatic about all this, but I was literally about I was standing up to go on stage next.
Feature and close the show.
Fairness, I was asked. She did ask me and stuff, and I didn't mind. It was fine. And if anything, I mean, it made the show it made the show a little longer. And when I think I told David this last night, but when that was announced, I just looked and there was all these people with just empty drinks. And you could see these drinks were not getting refilled at any point.
Yeah.
They have to sit through 3 more guys and me doing 15 minutes, But
yeah, see, and at that point I would have told you just do 10. But
I thought about doing just going hey, can I just go right now and then they can go after or something.
And then you can leave. Yeah. And
And Greg went up then, and his first thing he said, he was just I heard he said this on stage. I heard an audible sigh when it was when Simone said that we've added 2 more people to the show, and I heard it too.
Fuck, that's awesome.
I didn't know if it was gonna be my biggest set, anyways at this point. So but Greg and Wafik did bring some life to it. You know, it was longer, but they did kind of get something.
Well, yeah,
out of that, so that helps.
compared to the rest of the lineup, they were two of the stronger names that were not even on the lineup. So there you go. That's yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
You're telling me that David Haddad looks like this guy?
Yes, exactly.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the guy from Monster Magnet also. I forgot. Yeah.
That's not
Just said
very
it looked
nice.
like him.
That's not a
No.
nice thing to say.
Well, actually, speaking of pictures of David, I was going through some notes today, and I think this was from a previous episode, and I think it was based on a story David told where about maybe like at some point there was like someone's butt next to his head or face. I don't know what the story was, but I drew a picture at the time, and I just found it. I don't know if you could see. Oh, it's too bright.
Oh no, I need to.
Oh yeah.
That's David with a butt next to his head.
You
or
know what I
face.
think it was? Maybe we used to do this
It's probably a
thing.
story.
What an
or
artist.
something. Yeah.
He paints
There's a lot of.
I just found that today.
That's so funny. I think the story I told was maybe about Jordan, but there's been a lot of butt experiences. We used to do this kind of game, I guess, when we were kids called it was more of a punishment, I guess. It was like what you did if like someone lost a bet or pissed you off, and it was called the bear bum shabaka is what we called it. I don't really know what that even means. Someone said it sounded funny. Bear bum shabaka, and it's basically just two people hold someone down while the other person puts their ass in their face. And yeah, that happened a lot. We could never get Jordan though. He was like a rhino. He would just like buck you off, and you couldn't get him. There's no way.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Moncton, right? Is that an excuse still? Can I still use that as an excuse?
Bear bum.
I think we need to have Jordan on, or like another Moncton person.
Well, I think that's the
You
plan.
He's
know?
coming next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll
next
talk about
week.
the bear bum shabaka for sure. I remember the reason we even had it was because one of my buddies, what the fuck did he say? He said something about the way Jimi Hendrix died, and he was just like blatantly wrong about it. And we bet him, and if he was wrong, then he had to get a bear bum shabaka. I think we'd already decided what it was before, but we'd never like administered one. Yeah, and he
What did
just
he-
willingly accepted it because he lost the bet.
Do you remember what he said?
How did Jimi Hendrix die? He,
I think he just choked on his vomit.
Vomit,
or something,
right?
Like
Yeah.
from like barbiturates or something.
yeah,
OD.
that's what it's okay. We were saying that, and I don't remember what he said, but he just said that wasn't how he died, basically. Like he was just arguing
It
about
sounds like he
that's
just wanted a bear bum shabbat. Like he's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, Jimi Hendrix died in a car crash. Come on.
Yeah. Dude, I've gotten in so many stupid bets like that. I got in a bet with my friend because he insisted that the song Panama was animal. And we're like, no. And he bet me and Jordan each $100, but then he at the very last second while we were looking it up, he's like, oh, I think I'm right, but like I don't want to bet any money. And we're like, fuck you. And then
Better call it a bear bum shabaka.
Yeah. Okay, you don't have to pay us $200, but you get the bear butt shabbat.
And then my other favorite bet, my buddy Mac, who I believe is in the chat, who asked me not to embarrass him this time. He was the one who drank the piss.
I think you're just embarrassed him.
We were all there.
But isn't he the one who like tasted it and was like, "This is piss"?
Yeah.
and then
He
Jordan
basically
drank the rest of it?
sampled the piss
Right.
and passed it on. But yeah, he says sup y'all in the chat. But yeah, he bet me one time that E.T. ate Skittles. And I was like, no, you're an idiot. You're dumb. That's not what it is. And he's like a movie guy.
and
He
then he's
knows
like-
movie
It's like
shit.
the most famous product placement of all time.
Yeah,
And then he's
It
like,
invented product placement.
they really.
then he's like,
Yeah,
if I
don't know
lose,
if he even
if I
remembers that. We
lose, I
might
get
have
a-
been really drunk.
He's
I
like,
don't
if
know.
I lose, I get a bear butt shabaka, right? So, like,
Oh, we never gave Mac one. Mac. No. We
E.T.
would
gets
never
the
have given
bear
Mac
butt
one.
Shabbat. Give it to E.T.
Shabbat.
Well, we all
and
know.
and he sticks the finger in.
Yeah.
I like the idea. He thought E.T. loved to taste the rainbow.
Yeah. He says Mandela effect. He doesn't think it happened, but that totally happened because I remember he owed me like $60 and I was like, okay, if you win, I take $20 off, but if I win, you put $80 on to what you owe me. And I was really happy about that because I was like, this is an easy fucking win. I know this one. But anyway, Max he knows a lot about movies, so that was a weird, rare slip up on his part.
Emmett, we have a question from Trina in the chat. Did the butt you showed us have dots on it? Is there dots on that
I
butt?
don't think so. No, I think
No, just cleanly shaven, shorn. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, that's.
Oh, that was my point. I think the
There you
story
go.
I told before
Perfect.
I remembered about the Bear Bum Shabaka. I think I maybe told a story about Jordan. Like we were at like a punk show, and like the singer got totally naked and was like standing on a chair, and Jordan was just like really into it. He didn't notice the guy was naked, and he was just sort of like really into it with his eyes closed, like kind of rocking out. And then the guy was on a chair. It was a house show, and he was like right next to Jordan's head. And Jordan just had no idea that he was just sort of like bopping along, like right next to like a bare punk ass. And I had like a bunch of bottle caps in my pocket because we were just drinking at the show. So I was like trying to be like, hey, like, come on. There's an ass right next to your head. I was like throwing bottle caps at him, trying to get him to see what was going on. And he just spent like a whole set with an ass. That might have been the story. Maybe not. It sounds like it wasn't.
It'd be funny if you were just like it sounded like you were very close to hitting the butt with bottle caps too. Just throwing
Dude.
bottle caps at a butt.
That was maybe one of the coolest punk things I ever saw. Not the guy necessarily getting naked, but then like they were this punk band called Impulse Items, and their big song was called Boner at the Zoo. And it was a fucking awesome song. And the chorus is basically him just screaming like Boner at the Zoo. And he was like naked, and he had been like chugging wine all night. And it was like this small punk house with like low ceilings, but like a really long room. It was totally packed. And this guy, it was their last song. And at the very last zoo of Boner at the Zoo, he just puked everywhere. And it was the coolest thing I have ever seen, maybe. It was the most punk rock thing I've ever seen. Yeah, a naked man screaming boner at the zoo until he pukes. Really cool.
And
For the record, Boner at the Zoo is not on Spotify.
no.
In case anybody was wondering, it's not.
That's a Bandcamp release, I think.
Oh man, and you want the cut with him, throwing up at the end. Like you really
Yes,
need
of
that
course.
cut
That's the
of
bootleg that everyone passes around. You have the naked.
No, that's his
naked throw
closer.
up.
He does that every single time, guaranteed. It's rehearsed.
it. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
It's literally exposure. His dick was out. Yeah.
So
That is weird. I saw. Oh, sorry. I'm getting into punk stories, and don't worry.
no,
about
go
it.
ahead.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
absolutely.
say I saw that guy. Like, it is shocking the first time you ever see a man just like get naked in the middle of a show. Like, this guy was always in like underwear, but we were at like a club show, and I was watching this band, and I sort of turned, and then I just turned back, and his just dick was out, and he was doing punk music, and I'm just surprised you don't get arrested for something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking when you're saying like it's okay to do like that, but somewhere else, like
Yeah, it seems shocking. I don't know.
Well, didn't there's a singer, a female singer that just got in trouble for peeing
dude.
on somebody, and then it turned into this misogynist thing because apparently guys pee on people all the time, but when a woman does it, it's offside all of a sudden.
Peed in his mouth.
It was kind of a high-profile one, though, wasn't it? Like, this wasn't like a small. I'm not saying that makes it any less awesome, but like, I mean, it was like the exposure to this particular golden shower was kind of right. Isn't that the thing?
I mean,
Wasn't that the thing?
I don't know. Is that a
Like,
festival?
I mean, it was like a big. I thought that was it. Like,
Maybe,
holy
yeah.
shit, the woman's name is Eurista. And they're doing Rage Against the Machine covers, and then she pisses on a dude. Isn't that crazy? Like, I thought it. No.
Did you see the piss? Because it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was
She'd been.
a
Yeah.
significant amount of piss.
It was impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
She also was killing it singing
Way
while
way
pissing
more-
on a man's face. Like, she nailed it. It was
And we
awesome.
keep saying
Clint, you're right. I mean, like, that kind of thing is, as David is explaining it, like, it happens all the time, right?
we're
But
saying,
like, I mean,
we're saying
Yeah.
pissing on a guy's face, but that guy was a very willing participant
Yeah.
and had his mouth open, I believe, while it
Yeah.
was happening.
Yeah, but there's no way he had any idea how
so-
much
so,
piss it
that
was
was-
gonna be.
So
There's no way he could have guessed it was gonna be
Mr.
like that.
Dystopia in
How
the
long
chat.
should it take you to find out?
that was more
Wait,
piss
wait,
than
wait, wait,
any-
wait. Yeah.
that was more piss than any Moncton man could drink.
Yeah. Yeah, they.
It was
Not
good. It was
trying.
good. I actually like the only thing I didn't like. I thought it was weird that I didn't like that they had to apologize and stuff or something.
Yeah, that was
like,
a bit fucked up.
you-
And I mean, like, maybe yeah, you are calling misogyny on it correctly there, Clint.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, let women pee in willing men's mouth on stage.
Yeah.
The best part about that whole thing is when he got up and like went like this, and everyone cheered, and then he went, and then just spit out
Oh
what
my
was in his mouth. like Triple H, like in the old wrestling thing. I'm just like, oh my god, like that dude.
Or like LeBron. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
like dude, he did one of those. It was just like, oh my god, I cannot believe that happened.
It's interesting that anyone would have to apologize for that. You know?
I was just disappointed that they're a cover band.
Yeah, right. Should apologize for that. Fuck. What were
Yeah,
they
I
called?
was just like,
That's
oh,
the
some
only
band
way
Brass
you get-
Against. Brass Against was the name of the band.
Yeah, it's not even a
Ah,
good. It's because they're like horns and shit. But
Right. Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
like Tool covers too. They have Tool and Rage
Okay.
and like
The more I hear about this band, like a horn cover Rage, the more I hear about them, like the piss thing is the best thing they've ever done.
Oh yeah, they need the piss. Like
Yeah.
that was the only way any of us were ever going
It-
to hear about
it-
Brass Against.
it's so funny you guys say that because a lot of people are like I would never have heard of this band if they didn't pee.
Yeah,
Brass
yeah,
Against.
Really?
There you go. If you ain't first, you're last. It's getting back to our movie.
Perfect.
That was
Excellent.
awesome.
Excellently
Oh,
executed.
So
gosh.
I think we've talked about we haven't really talked about Will Ferrell a lot, but we were just talking about John C. Reilly. But let's before we get to Ferrell, Sacha Baron Cohen plays the villain, the true villain in this movie, Ricky Bobby, with the worst French accent I have ever heard at all ever. Andy Richter has a very brief moment as his like a couple scenes as his husband, which I feel like we should have had more of them together.
Yeah, I think that
would
be
have
great.
been
I love
really
Andy Richter.
funny. But like everything about like every scene with him was hilarious. Like just so like he's drinking espresso in the car. He spills it on himself. He's got what is it? Elvis Costello and Mos Def.
Mos
Most
Def,
Def.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that who that? When he asked him, is that Elvis Costello and Mos Def? He's like, oh no, that's not them. It's like, and then he's like, these are the guys. This is the men I was telling you about, Ricky Bobby, and how he left F1 racing just so that Ricky Bobby could beat him. But then he's like, but maybe he won't. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
My
what?
favorite detail about him was like the cover story on him or whatever. It was like what was it? He stays at home and raises his world-class horses who are also gay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And then they like end the whole thing with like them making out, and like the guys in the booth are just like the whole thing.
Yeah.
2
movies in a row we watched with two guys making out. So
It's true.
look at us. We're doing it.
Back
Doing it.
Mountain is next week.
Yes,
Gary
exactly.
Cole. Gary Cole.
I'll call all my friends from childhood. We'll go watch Brokeback Mountain.
That's right. Yes.
I did tell that, right? I told that
You did.
story.
I
Right?
forgot
Yeah.
that story.
Okay, good.
Jesus Christ. Gary Cole in making
Maybe that's where we got the Bear Bum Shabaka. Now that I think about it.
that
That
does
was the
sound
original
like,
title of Brokeback
yeah, that
Mountain.
does
was Bear
sound like
Bum
Brokeback Mountain Bear Bum. It's
I've
like
never seen it.
it's like
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie.
I should watch it.
the thing I
Yeah,
love
it's
about
beautiful.
that is that perfectly a bear bum Shabaka and what you describe it as is like Siri, tell me what like 2 guys in there who are 12 think gay sex is like.
Yeah, do you believe me that I'm bisexual now, Lorenzo?
That's
How do
fucking
you know
funny.
about my
Oh
turbulent gay
gosh.
youth rubbing my ass in the face of my childhood friends? Nah, it was
remember
purely
a-
for,
just
it was
really
purely
quick-
for hijinks. I just gotta
No
say,
one
it was
believes
just-
you.
I remember reading this cartoon strip. It was like, I don't know, like whatever, like some, I don't know, countercultural fucking comic book. Doesn't matter where I saw it, but yeah, some guy's like what, drawing his own childhood memories, and one of the misconceptions he had about sex was that the man and the woman got together. He didn't understand that there was any difference in the genitalia, and they got together, and I don't know, they did what he called the dink kiss, and it was a drawing of penises connecting to one another, and I showed the room this comic book, and it's making its way from person to person now. Like we're talking about something completely different, and this girl in the corner of the room, it's just made its way to her, and I hear her go, the dink anyway, continue. It was just,
I love it.
like, I mean,
Glad
that
you told us about the Dink Kiss.
the Dink Kiss.
It's
All
a
right.
perfect name.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
in regards to the movie, I have written down a line I liked, which was "Send that queer back to Indonesia,"
Yeah.
which I thought was the kids. The kids had some great lines,
Right.
as their horrible selves. And then when they were like broken by Jane Lynch, they also were like super polite, which was hilarious to see that too.
Yeah.
I also love how the wife was just like, "We got to pull the plug. You know, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just taking a nap." Like I don't know what.
Oh man, my favorite thing was when John C. Reilly and is it Mark Clark Michael Duncan? Was that his name?
Michael Clark Duncan, you racist.
Fuck me. All right, whatever. But yeah, okay. When they're like telling him that he can walk and he freaks out, I wrote down what he says. It's so good. Where he's like, "I have people that have sons, handsome, beautiful, articulate sons who are talented and star athletes, and they have their legs taken away." And then he's just like, "Don't you put that evil on me?"
Don't you put that evil on me.
Freaks out.
Don't you put that evil
Like
on
with
me.
total sincerity, don't you
Yeah.
put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me.
It fucking killed me.
Yeah, that line's great. Trina asked earlier if I caught the line where the kids celebrated when they were getting divorced, which was "Yay, 2 Christmases." Yes, that
Nice.
was actually back because when I coming up in a week and a half on my 6th anniversary of ending my marriage, my ex was not happy about that, and one of the very public social media posts she made was posting this like cartoon, which was like a kid with all these toys, and it's like, "Yeah, my parents got divorced and I have 2 Christmases," and it was like, she's like, "Guess we'll be doing this from now on," and I'm just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Anyway, she took it down, but
Yes.
it's true though. Your kids get more presents, so there you go. If
Hell yeah.
kids break up your parents, it works out. Let's see the other stuff I had. There was a song that plays in this. I think when he's doing the pizza delivery stuff, which I love. The kids are like, "Nice jean shorts." But Steve Earle's "Feel All Right" plays during it, and I'm like, I know this from somewhere else. And then I looked it up, and it was played very prominently at the end of season 2 of The Wire as the wrap-up song for because Steve Earle.
Oh shit.
Steve Earle not only features prominently his music in The Wire, he's also in The Wire as a character for a couple seasons. But in season 2, he has that's his song to wrap it all up.
I've never seen The Wire.
Earl songs in this movie. I think
Are
there's
there?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that one and another one, but yeah,
At least 2, yeah.
Yeah, I love him. I love Steve Earle.
He's great. Great politics. Great. He's actually decent actor. The only thing about him, when I first saw him, I was like, why are his arms so small? But I think it was what he was wearing that just made his arms look really small. But
Well, I've seen him a couple of times, and not too big, but I remember making a comment one of the times, like I see him, I'm like, it's like his guitar gets smaller but he's just kind of getting bigger as a guy, I think,
Oh yes, Trina also points out the French version of Painted Black, which was
That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I like that.
great. Oh, there's the old mug making an appearance. The old Emmett Morrison soup mug.
Does Painted Black still does that still give you like a weird feeling now when you hear the Gob version about like going up at Yuck Yucks, because they would play that before every single show? And every time I used to just like listening to that song, and now it like gives me kind of anxiety because it's just like the right before things are about to start song.
Do they still
That's why I
play that?
can't listen to Lose Yourself anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know if they've been doing it at the different places. I don't think I didn't watch the beginning of the only the Marriott show I've done. You did a couple. You should know.
I don't think they did, but
Okay.
those were like the pro shows. So
Yeah.
I mean pro shows, but like the Friday night, Saturday night shows. So I don't know. If they do bring it back, let's have them play that one for bilingualism's sake, because then it'll be less, nerve
I played it. I play
Trina says they're not using it anymore. So there you go.
Okay.
I play a French Painted Black at that French pop night I do.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
So maybe the same. Marie Laforêt.
I think that might be who
Hell
it
yeah.
is. Let's see. Any other favorite moments that we haven't talked about yet?
This isn't really a favorite one exactly, but I mean, like there is at the after Grace, Ricky Bobby asks his sons like how was school today, and one of his sons just like fucking non sequitur out of nowhere goes, threw Grandpa Chip's war medals off a bridge, and,
Yes.
and it goes to Grandpa Chip's face, who's just like. Move on to something else entirely different.
The whole table
just
scene
like
is
the long-suffering fucking Grandpa Chip, who eventually just goes, you know, I just can't hold my tongue anymore. Your children are terrible. Well, yeah. I don't know. That was one that hadn't come up in conversation organically yet. That I thought
he has a weird line at the end too, like when they have the confrontation at the house, like when. He like says something, and he's like, and like they hear him talk, and they're like, I don't even know what that means, like that kind of stuff, like it's just,
field mouse versus owl thing. What the fuck?
Yeah,
like
yeah. And John C. Reilly's like, that's kind of creepy, isn't it?
I can confirm, Emmett, that you are playing the same version as Talladega Nights. That is Marie Laflorette. That's
a good one. I like it.
Yeah. So if you want to relive Talladega Nights in person, go see Emmett's French night. That'll be and he will also let you he will piss on you on stage. That'll be
Yeah, we just added that.
Just added
Yeah.
that. Popular
That's what the
demand.
people want. Yeah.
Popular demand. Let's see.
Go
ahead.
I had the part where we kind of gets his like fucking mojo back or whatever, where his dad tells him like there's a kilo of cocaine under the car and he has to like outrun the cops or whatever. And then at the end the notes it's like, these are just Lucky Charms, like don't crush them up and snort them. Like as if he just knows that he would like consider it. It did actually kind of remind me of something that happened in high school where
naturally
where a friend of mine, like my best friend, I think we had gone to the bulk barn or something, and we had gotten these like hard sugar candies, and one of them was like white, so he crushed it up and put it in a dime bag and then sold it as Coke to somebody. And like he was saying all day he was gonna do it and it was gonna be a funny joke, and he was like trying to sell it to people, and it did look exactly like Coke, like it really did. And then he sold it to somebody, and and they were like, this is candy, and got like really pissed off at him, and he was like, okay, and gave the money back. But then after he like put his finger in it and like rubbed his gums, and he was like, I think it might actually be cocaine. And I was like, you made this, what are you talking about? Instead of sugar. And he was like totally like, I think this like works, like that's just sugar, like I'm sorry,
oh god,
gingivitis you're feeling, that's not being
I think we're onto something here.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I've never seen
wait.
a self-imposed like fucking
Did I make cocaine? That's incredible.
It was super stupid, and he wasn't like that dumb of a guy. Like he was actually so good in school that he was like graduating with like multiple honors. So for the last like week or so, he just did a different drug at school because he figured like I got it locked in. So he just would get fucked up. And I remember he had pills of speed. We were like what, like 17 when you graduate? We were like 17, 18. And I guess I was 18 because I had an extra year. Anyway. But anyway, so we were in like our first period was music, and they had like these awesome like soundproof practice rooms you could just go and hang out in. So that's where he would usually do his drugs at the beginning of the day because you were like pretty like just safe to do whatever back there. And he had speed, and he'd never done speed. And I was like, how do you even do speed? And he was like, I'm pretty sure you like just eat it. And I was like, I don't know, like maybe swallow it. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure you have to chew it. And I was like, dude, that doesn't sound right to me. And then he just chewed a pill of speed and was like, this is terrible. And I was like, yeah, man, probably. You're eating meth basically right now. I didn't know that at the time that it was meth, but anyway.
Wow.
Chewable speed. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just, yeah.
He just chewed it. Hey, anything's chewable if you try hard enough. That's
Exactly.
Okay, well,
yeah, sorry, I got kind of.
I don't know if you guys talked. There's one part that was my favorite. I don't know if you guys talked about it or brought it up, but when like I guess like after John C. Reilly has like taken over his life or whatever, and they're talking on the phone,
Yes.
and he's just like he's talking about how he wants to watch TV and listen to music at the same time. Like he's kind of helping him. He's like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Why do you even want to do that?" He's like, "Because I like party."
Yeah, at least party.
I did write that down. I
And
love that.
Also, he's like, "Hey, is your house haunted?" And then when he gets off the phone, you hear, "Get out." Also, yeah, there's another line I was just gonna bring up at the end where right before the last race, like, "Hey, we missed you at the wedding." He's like, "Why would I come to your wedding?" Like, it's like we had a nacho fountain. He's like, "That does sound pretty cool." It's like six types of cheese.
Because he invites him to it already.
I
To
want
like
you
be
to be
his
my
best
best
man. He's like, I'm
man.
not gonna
Why would
go
I
to your
be your
wedding.
best
I
man?
don't think you understand the way you've changed our relationship.
Yeah, you've already lost your job and your wife. Do you want to lose your best friend?
It's also crazy. I didn't remember that the turnaround of all that happening was 3 hours. I like thought it was like more of a like
No.
gradual thing. It's literally like they look at each other and then it's like, okay, they clearly had a conversation where it's like, all right, we're gonna like fuck now and you'll be my husband.
I
He's
love
like, oh, okay.
I love how also he's like going through that existential crisis with his crew guy the whole time. The last race, like, yeah, but what does he mean by that? Like, what is he like? No, he's passing you. Like in my head, he's passing me. He's like, no, he's passing you right now. But like that whole like he can't understand what like Will Ferrell's motivation is, even though it's the clearest fucking thing in the world. Like, how can you not understand? You ruined his life essentially. Like, it's I mean, there's so many great things. I in terms of like humor that doesn't hold up now, I would say is the liberal use of the word retarded, which is now not in use anymore.
You literally said it at the beginning of this stream.
I know, but that, David, was an homage to this movie, so that's why I was saying it.
Okay, I didn't catch that, but all right.
Well, also Mitch is from 2016, so it was okay to say that then.
Oh, that's also a good
Call back to Mitch's joke.
To Mitch's set. It was a period piece joke.
Period piece, yes.
Yeah.
What is the other stuff we have here? The stuff about Sacha Baron Cohen's character being gay. There's a lot of like inappropriate things said about that, but like they were all like trying too hard to be like, like he's sitting on the pole, which is not a comment about his sexual orientation. It's just what he said. But like, yeah.
I found for the most part those jokes were like it just like highlighted like the ignorance of the people, right? Like they weren't really, it didn't really feel like jokes like about gay people as much as about like rednecks like digesting the idea of a gay person.
The butt of the joke was the homophobia kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, they seem to be just as upset about the fact that they were French that they were gay. You know what I mean? So
apparently, in the trivia, they say when they filmed some of these parts at like a NASCAR event, like during like intermissions and stuff during races, or like they would like say like they'd film a couple scenes, they'd have them, and we have this character like from France, and everyone they didn't even ask people to boo, they just booed, and it's like, oh, okay. Like they just the normal people were like boo, like to his character. And this would have been like right after Borat, right? So like I think
it was right before, or no, it was the same year. So I think it was listed before on IMDb. It was listed before, but like they're both 2006, I think. So,
okay. But he was known already, like from Ali G, stuff like that.
I don't think I've ever watched Ali G show.
I've seen
I've seen like all the movies and shit, but I don't think I've ever watched Ali G show.
I think I have. Yeah, I have the Ali G show complete series box set if you ever want to borrow it. It's got old Borat too, and I've never seen Bruno, but it has Bruno in it as well.
Bruno has maybe one of the funniest fucking things. I think about this joke all the time, where he's like pitching a TV show or something, and like it's just him. Like he's in like a boardroom, and the TV show is him just doing all these like very like gay things. And at the very end, a dick just starts like windmilling, and then it goes like straight forward towards the camera, and the urethra goes Bruno, and it's like to me one of the. It makes me laugh so hard. I don't know. It's the stupidest fucking joke, and I love it so much.
Oh shit! Sorry, I'm just reading about the kids. One of the
no.
kids, Houston Tumlin, he was the I think the older one.
God, that's a redneck name.
Yeah, he
Yeah, they didn't have to change that for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It conveys the exact same message as
Right.
Walker or
Yeah.
Texas Ranger.
He died this year.
Oh well, god damn it.
We shouldn't have went so hard
I
in
know.
on his name. Like, we just had to wait like 2 seconds. We just raked a dead man over the cross. It's awful. But I mean, like,
God.
well, let's find out how he died before we keep.
Yeah. Maybe it was while being racist or murdering somebody.
He died.
Racism or murder.
Come on.
He died by suicide.
God damn it. Are you kidding
Damn
me?
it, that's the worst one. It was probably because of his name.
Hey guys, shit.
Again, we could have just waited. We could have just waited again.
He died by
rolled the
suicide
dice.
because he was in the military and had
shit.
PTSD after he served. And so,
That's actually a
congrats,
pretty
guys!
good
You
military
made
name.
God
light of an
damn.
American hero. I hope you're. And that was his only ever acting gig. Was that movie? Was the Talladega Nights?
And then he joined the service.
Then he joined the service.
Oh my gosh.
And then he was made fun of by a bunch of failures on.
Hey, speaking of which, Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle's in this?
Yeah, retired Marine or
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
retired
military man. So he's in this, but I'm really fucking pivoting here. I guess that's all right. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
You don't want
We're
to
done?
linger on you guys making fun of an American
Yeah,
hero?
yeah.
Okay.
well, good
Dead-
night,
a dead
Houston.
veteran.
Hello, Rob Riggle.
Let's truck right ahead forward on this one. Let's go along.
Was he? So he was the hot shit, or like he was known or whatever as like a comedic talent by this point in his career, and yet he has a very minor role in this movie.
Was
Like,
he
I mean-
that, like, he wasn't doing that much at this
He
point, I
wasn't
don't
doing.
think, was he?
Okay, I guess Step Brothers was 2008, right? Bigger role in
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
but not even all that big in that.
No, I think
Yeah.
this would have
You
been.
know, I guess you're right. Kind of a minor bit player, I guess,
Yeah.
at this point.
But,
you know?
but you're right though. This one was like not like I was sort of surprised to see how like they didn't really give him much to do even like, he was,
Anything.
no, he was
Yeah.
just
This is his transition period. So he would have just finished SNL
Okay.
before. So he was on SNL for 2 years.
hey, this might be like a whole June bugs are covered in semen kind of thing. But was Rob Riggle involved in like capturing Bin Laden? Did I make that up in my head?
You did.
Wasn't
He's
wasn't he?
ex-Navy SEAL, but I don't think he did. He was part of that.
Okay, for
But
some reason I
think
thought he
he's-
was like somehow associated with that or something. I don't know. I might have just made that up.
I think he was a Navy SEAL. But I
Okay.
don't think he was on SEAL Team 6 or whatever it was called.
Okay.
Let's
I think what I'm thinking is Rob Riggle is covered in semen. That must have been when I'm mixing it up. That's what it was.
I heard
Silly me.
one time a story about Rob Riggle where like it was him and like outside like a comedy show in New York or something. It was him and like Janine Garofalo and like some dudes were like just like fucking with Janine Garofalo, like being really like I don't know, like assault, and like he stepped in because he's a big
6'2".
Yeah.
and like just took care of the whole thing somehow or whatever. It
Hell
sounded
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That
he's
is awesome.
not a Navy SEAL, he's a Marine. And he was also a UCB alum. So he did UCB 98 to 2000. He was on the original TV show with Amy Poehler and Ian Roberts and those guys.
I've only watched that a couple of times. That was a pretty weird, cool show.
Yes.
I like that.
SNL 2 years. Then he was on the Arrested Development, the good seasons, as Congressman John Van Heusen, which I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all.
And then Talladega Nights, and then he was on
Hangover?
Human Giant for 07, 08, and then 08 is when he hits his big stride with Step Brothers, and then the next year Hangover, and then he's on a bunch of the other guys in 2010.
Man, was Human Giant
yeah.
like a big thing? Like I guess maybe when you were in the States, probably when that was on TV.
No, I was
Like,
here. I was here,
really?
but I had heard about it. But like I
only heard about it like way later. Like I was never on my radar like when it was a thing, but it seems like it was like a pretty like big and cool thing.
I only
kinda,
heard
like,
about it after the fact because Aziz was on Flight of the Conchords, and I'm like, who's this guy? And then I found out about Human Giant, or which one came out first? I feel like Concord, like around the same time. But like
Yeah.
now you can trace like Sheer and
I fucking love Paul Scheer, man. That guy's so cool.
Yeah, and like a lot of like the 2010s comedy people all have links to that. But yeah,
Okay.
we're getting to like a different phase of like the kind of the linkages of comedy as it goes. But like Riggle's for sure a guy who's been everywhere. Yeah, but very minor part in this. Very minor part in this. I think we can all agree.
He was in a movie. I was thinking about this movie because I was thinking about like some of my favorite Will Ferrell cameos today or whatever. Like obviously he's great in Wedding Crashers as like the guy who like taught them their whole like scumbag lifestyle.
Meatloaf.
Yeah, exactly. But one of my favorites is like a not very good movie. But did you ever see The Goods with Jeremy Piven?
Oh,
It's
Yes.
Yeah, where he's like there. I don't know. He's supposed to revive like used car dealerships that are like kind of failing, and he's just like a big sex maniac, and he keeps referencing this like tragedy that happened in a certain city, and it's that like Will Ferrell used to be his partner, and the whole thing is like a flashback of Will Ferrell, and he's gonna do this big stunt where he like dives down, like skydives out of a plane dressed like Abraham Lincoln to like liberate you from like savings or something like that, and he opens up his parachute and it's just a backpack of sex toys that Jeremy Piven's character was going to use, and he obviously opens like a parachute in like the back of a car with a girl. But my favorite line is Will Ferrell, I think of this all the time, falling to his death. And he's like, I'd like to say that I didn't think it was going to go down like this, but dressed like Abraham Lincoln falling from the sky next to a dildo. But I got to say, it's pretty much exactly what I thought would happen. And it's one of my favorite Will Ferrell things of all time. That movie's got a couple moments. And Rob
Riggle's in that one too.
Yeah, he's like a man-child.
And the dynamic between him and Catherine Hahn, where she wants to fuck him, but he's just a child.
Yeah, he's a child that's the size of a man.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a pretty crazy one. And Craig Robinson is my favorite in that.
Yeah, the cast in this is insane.
Yeah. Craig Robinson is like the DJ for like their clearance events, and he's DJ requests, but he refuses to ever play what anyone ever requests. So they'll be like, hey, can you play Casey and the Sunshine Band? And he's like, yeah, for sure. And then he puts on like hardcore rap, and he's like, never, DJ request never gives them what they want. And it's like the stupidest, funniest. Yeah, that movie's got some stuff in it.
So the people we haven't mentioned in this movie, besides, I can tell why this movie didn't do well. It's just blatantly advertising Jeremy Piven as who fucking thought we should do PCU sometime? That piece of shit. Oh, anyway.
I don't even know what that is.
It was his first time trying to make himself a star. Ving Rhames is in this. Yep. James Brolin is in this. David Koechner's in this. Ed Helms is in this. Tony Hale is in this. Catherine Hahn, who you said. Ken Jeong is in this. Charles Napier, who you would know if you saw him. Alan Thicke.
What I just remembered is that I'm pretty sure it's directed by Neil Brennan.
No. Oh wow!
Yeah,
it is directed by Neil Brennan.
Yeah, right. I totally forgot about that actually.
Wendy Malick is also in this as well, and Brian Callen, stand-up comic, and I think somewhat canceled guy Brian Callen is in this as well. Yeah. So,
it's pretty funny. Like I don't know, I like it. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? What movie it links to on here that has a very bad rating is The Ladies' Man with Tim Meadows.
I saw that when I was so young. I barely remembered. I remember loving it when I was a kid.
I remember it being hilarious. So I'm very curious. Maybe we'll
I love Tim Meadows.
Kelly Kapowski was in that, if I'm not mistaken.
She was.
Yeah.
Yes, she was. Yeah, that was. Will Ferrell is in that one as well. So there you go.
I was thinking of. I think maybe I said this at some point that we should do like a run of SNL movies.
That would be awesome, actually.
I mean, this one. I mean. It kind of is adjacent in that it's like Ferrell and a lot of SNL alums and writers. Like Koechner was on there, Riggle was on there, McBrayer's like adjacent to SNL, Molly Shannon.
Yeah, Molly Shannon.
But McKay, was it McKay a writer on SNL? Adam McKay?
Probably, I would imagine. I think so.
Yeah.
So,
and he was like an OG,
awesome.
like UCB guy and Second City, I think.
You guys ever seen Vice? That was actually a pretty. Interesting movie.
Yeah.
He's a great filmmaker.
I saw that movie in theaters, and at the part where Dick Cheney was like kind of dying or something near the end, a woman started like sobbing in the audience, and it was just like I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, it's just a conflict. I understand it was like a weirdly like kind of masterful movie in that it made you kind of sympathize for a shitty person like a little bit, but then also kept highlighting like how fucked he was.
So
But yeah, that
Adam
person's-
McKay's like his pivot like into that sort of thing was what, The Big Short, and that's kind of what he does now.
I
guess,
didn't even know
right?
he did that. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I've never
I
seen
think,
that.
Am I right about
Yeah.
that?
You
I think
mean
I'm right
in terms
about
of
that.
him
Yeah.
going out of
Like in terms of him
comedies.
going, let's not do let's not do the very cleverly written but like completely vapid horseshit comedies. Let's do something else, and that's what he's doing now. Like your
Yes.
Vices and your some other damn thing.
I think
There's
the,
something
The other guys kind of, you could see he was
Oh,
going that way.
because
with the
there's
other
love
there's
the
a
other
spin to that. Yeah. You're
Well,
right.
There's
you're
a
right.
movie he's doing that just is released, I think on a limited release, but has very good buzz around it, called Don't Look Up. It's with
DiCaprio and
DiCaprio,
what's her
Jennifer Lawrence,
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet's in it, a bunch of other ones. But the reason I bring it up is because it's very the story is by a journalist named David Sirota, who was one of the key people part of the Bernie campaigns in 2016 and 2020. And then Adam McKay, his politics very much align with that group as well and has been very plugged into it. So I'd be interested. It's kind of part... I don't really know what the movie's about, but I thought it's like about climate change, but they're saying it's not. But it says 2 low-level astronomers must go on a giant meteor to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. But I feel like the way he sells it is like it's a metaphor for climate change, of like them trying to go out and like tell people like, look, we got the science, this thing's coming to, and it was just like, no, is it really? Like it's like that. That's what it's kind of the movie's about, is like how dysfunctional politics is. What I have not looked at the chat, and I just saw that Peter said I heard he ate a man's penis before, and I don't know what that's in reference to.
That's all Rob Riggle and fucking Step Brothers there, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the best part.
it is funny. Yeah.
Step
There's a
Brothers.
okay,
deleted scene of
like a
that
fucking-
part that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's him doing it, right?
Yeah.
In front of Adam Scott going,
Like-
you see? Yeah.
Okay, so like, yeah, you were just like listing some of the Adam McKay movies. Like, someone said, The Other Guys. Is this like blasphemy if I say I think The Other Guys is maybe my favorite Will Ferrell movie? Like, is that like a weird opinion?
Over Step Brothers?
Kinda,
Over
yeah. Like, I
Anchorman?
like.
Really?
Over Anchorman.
Oh well,
Over-
I don't know. Anchorman's hard because it's just like, yeah, I guess I loved that when I was a kid. So I would probably put that as like a default top, but I would say Other Guys is like right under that.
There's
for
some
me.
fucking amazing shit in the other guys. You're right.
Yeah.
I actually,
Oh,
I gotta be honest with you guys. I just watched The Other Guys. Like I was a little late because I went to see my sister and meet or like hang out with my new niece. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
And we-
you for abandoning your family to come talk about bugs
We were
fucking
down.
come.
Talladega.
So we watched The Other Guys, and I gotta be honest. I didn't get a chance to rewatch Talladega Nights before this, but I can
You
talk.
did
If you guys
watch
want
The
to
Other
talk
Guys?
about The Other Guys, I just watched it. We can talk a lot about.
Did
that
you
if
like
want.
it?
Yeah, the guy that there's I think when Will Ferrell and Adam McKay are together are the best Will Ferrell
Yeah,
movies. you know,
absolutely.
and it was pretty good. I like it. I've seen
'Cause
it before.
There was a couple fucking like stinkers, even I'm pretty sure, between Anchorman and this movie. I think, like, I'm pretty sure he did Bewitched, which I guess I didn't see, but I just kind of assumed was shitty. And there's
That
something
thing
else.
with Robert Duvall, like the soccer movie, Kicking and Screaming.
Yeah, I think
was
that's
that
the one.
between
That is
two?
the one.
Okay,
Yeah. Which
yeah,
again,
yeah,
I
right.
maybe it was
I haven't
cool.
seen it.
Yeah,
It
but
could
it's
be
clearly
amazing,
not, like-
but it isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, like between
couldn't be.
two top tier Will Ferrell movies, there's like clearly like
Uh-huh.
a two or
You
three
mean Will
movies.
Ferrell movie?
What did I
Is
say?
that-
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Adam McKay.
No.
Apparently, maybe I'm wrong with it, but like Hot Rod was supposed to be for Will Ferrell. But then
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Sandberg did.
Well,
Makes
because
sense.
I guess it is still that's an SNL movie, right?
Yeah.
Technically, I
Well,
think, or, like, literally.
Ferrell executive produced Hot Rod.
Oh,
So
cool.
there you go.
Yeah, because I know that's like not one they wrote. Like I think they like rewrote it or something. But I think someone brought them the concept, or it was like something they were able to.
So-
That's a fucking great movie.
Yeah, like that's the Lonely Island.
Hot Rod's
fellas,
great.
kind of,
Hot Rod's
right?
fantastic.
Yeah.
You couldn't beat a drum. It's one of my favorite lines of the entire movie. Melinda. What movie is that? With
Well, that's a
Will
great
Ferrell
one.
did that?
Woody Allen. Oh, he's
Is
in
that
it.
Woody Allen? Yeah.
Yeah,
I never even heard of that.
with Chloe
It tells the same
Sevigny.
story, but one's like one version is dramatic and the other one's kind of a comedy. It was really clever.
Okay, cool.
I've only seen it once, but I remember it stuck with me. I really, really liked it.
Cool.
Does he address the
Melinda.
allegations? No, I'm just kidding. Then Kicking and Screaming, Bewitched, then Wedding Crashers as
yeah.
Chaz Reinhold. The Producers. He's fantastic in The Producers as
I've never seen it.
You never seen it? Oh shit.
No.
You guys have never seen it?
I've never seen it.
None of you have ever seen it? Oh my god.
What is it? A movie?
It's like a musical, right?
It's a
Isn't that-
okay, so
It took me a second.
there was a like comedy made back in the 70s with Gene Wilder and this other guy. Whole thing's a Mel Brooks thing, but it didn't really work. It kind of bombed. And then so they rewrote it as a musical, and it was performed on Broadway with Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane were the two leads.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Rather than have the actors who played them on Broadway play them in screen, Will Ferrell plays. Essentially, what the conceit of the movie is, they want to make a bomb in like so they can like take the money because no one looks at your accounting if you bomb, right? You just say you fucking bombed, and everyone's like, oh, okay, well then the money must have gone into the show when they just take the money and leave, right?
Yeah.
And so they hire basically a neo-Nazi to do a play called Springtime for Hitler. And so the entire the second act of the whole movie starts with this large, beautifully produced number called Springtime for Hitler, and it's with the Nazi flags and everything. But like it's like the most beautiful example of satire I've ever seen. But he doesn't.
Yeah, that's not at all what I thought that movie was
And
like.
Will Ferrell has no idea, his character, that this is all like being done. He thinks it's all like sincere. So he plays essentially a Nazi in that movie, but a very dumb Nazi. One of my favorite lines in that movie, because they very much allude to the fact that he knew Hitler, because I think this is supposed to take place in the 70s. He's like, oh, the Hitler, what a painter. That guy could, paint an entire apartment in one afternoon, 2 coats. But like that kind of
It's
like
very Mel Brooksy.
exactly.
joke.
There's a lot of Mel Brooks stuff like that. Blades of Glory though, like you see a lot of like not good semi-pro.
I liked Semi Pro a lot, actually.
There's some funny stuff in that, right?
And then
Yeah.
Step Brothers
Yeah.
in 2008. So yeah, he hit. I think he hit a wall with too much Will Ferrell everywhere.
Yeah.
But he's fucking great in Eastbound and Down. I don't know if you guys seen that show.
Oh yeah.
As
yeah,
Ashley
yeah.
Schaefer.
So funny.
Right, plums, 2 plums. Yeah.
Yeah. Let
Um,
the boy watch. That's my favorite line from that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're coming up towards the end. I don't think we really have anything else to say about. We can watch more Will Ferrell stuff, but I think right now the plan is next we're gonna deviate from our. Although looking now at Semi-Pro, maybe we'll watch that because we've been talking about sports films. But I'm also fine to deviate from that now. But I think now we're going to the only John C. Reilly starring film, Walk Hard, for next Sunday, which is...
That's probably in my like top 10, maybe 5 favorite movies, I would say. I fucking love that movie.
I haven't seen that movie in a very long time, but I remember when it came out, I loved it, and like listened to the soundtrack way too much.
Oh yeah, I love the soundtrack.
But so that movie is a spoof of all of those musician biopics that were coming out at the time, specifically Ray and the Walk the Line, right? Like, because it has references to both. Is there another one? I feel like but it was mainly those two.
Mostly those two, but then they just go through a lot of different like eras of music and make like a lot of like kind of funny and cool references to all of them, basically.
Yeah,
It's
like
pretty
the LSD.
because he goes
period.
that's his whole thing. He basically traverses like all of popular music for like multiple generations or whatever, and and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
So, and we'll be hopefully if there's no, unlike some other people, I had horrible stomach issues and I showed up.
I know.
But Jordan had his bad clam, so let's say no shellfish on Saturday.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna advise him of that.
He can show up. Try to see. Oh yeah, Jenna Fisher. That's who the other one is for that.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. We'll have that next Sunday. Anyone else? You guys have any shows this week? I'm with my kids this week, so you can catch me on Trevor's Pad on Wednesday, and then probably Tim and It Real on Codenames on Thursday. David, where can people see you this week?
I'm at Swizzles tomorrow, the Gilmore on Tuesday, and Ralph's on Wednesday. And I'm doing the indie tour, the indie room.
The
tour.
Radoverse, as we call it.
Yeah, the Radoverse. That's amazing. Actually.
Into the Radoverse.
Into the Radoverse.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm doing the Radoverse tour, and then I'm featuring at Yuck's Newtown Showcase on the 8th.
There you go.
It's a really fucking dope lineup, too. I think Emmett, are you on that show? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I am. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Aaron Hill, I think, is on. George Asili is on. It's a really good lineup.
Let me see if I can.
Greg Schroeder is hosting, I believe.
See if I can go watch it. Maybe.
I think.
Let me
Yeah, let's
see.
look at this lineup.
Look at this lineup. See if it's one I can go to. December 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be in the audience, but I'll just sit on the other side of the room. Yeah, maybe I'll go
Hell
watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Cassidy.
I think
Von
Mitch might be
Battle.
on the.
Mitch is not scheduled to be on
Okay.
that show, but I'm sure he will be.
He might be, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one December 9th with Tony the Russian is going to be on December 9th.
He's back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
messaged Jennifer Whiteford and was just like, hey, you're going to hate your night. There's just like a lot of people on that night that
Yeah.
she's not going to enjoy.
Yeah,
And she was she who has not been doing comedy lately said that she's glad she can immediately fall back into her role of being the woman that hates all the white men on the show.
perfect. Jake, where can people see you?
I guess like I'm just constantly doing the fucking indie room open mic tour. I mean, like this week, I guess I'm gonna try to bomb for musicians at Meows on Tuesday, and then do the same thing for comics on Thursday, and that's my week. So yeah, come on out.
Come on.
You're
out.
doing the Meow tour specifically.
I
That's-
guess specifically, yeah. I really like Meows, and
Yeah, it's cool. I haven't
yeah,
been there for
I'm
fucking ever.
taking my business to Meows.
Is Tuesdays the music mic?
Is the music mic? I guess
Okay.
they entertain what like the possibility of like two open micers getting up at the two open mic comedians
Okay.
getting up and doing their horse shit, and I've been not going for a while,
Mhm.
and I just kind of felt like I shouldn't have anything going on Tuesday, and I do have something going on Wednesday, so I can't do the Ralph's thing. May as well do it the Meows
I
thing.
might start going to those because I can't do Thursdays anymore because of work, and I kind of miss doing that room as well. It's a really
Oh,
fun
yeah.
place to try new shit. So I might start going to those music mics.
All right, well, maybe don't fucking go because like there's only 2 open mic comedians allowed on, and there could be another guy there, and I don't want you.
I'm not gonna go
talking
this
for
week. I've
fucking
already got a
position,
show.
All right. Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
all right.
good. All right.
I'll
Let's
back
keep it
off.
that way.
Very
You son of a
territorial,
bitch.
Jake. I'm like, right, I won't get on your
Enough with
turf.
your
Jesus.
fucking indie room tour, dude. This is my house. Anyway.
I meant next week. But all right.
All right. I'll see you there then.
Yeah, all right.
Stay off the west side.
I'm
Clint,
so
where-
tired of this gatekeeping in comedy.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get out there and grind, Like, the people are just really jealous that I'm not out there and grinding.
I'm gonna show up at that show, and Jake's gonna throw hot sauce in my eyes and incapacitate me before I can't.
Oh,
go
my
out.
penis!
Stay out of Riverdale.
Clint, where can you just got off your amazing show in Cornwall? Where can people see you coming now for the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I get to make the fun trip out to Renfrew on Saturday night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
From Embrun, that's an extra hour on that.
Yeah. It's a ways, but Howard asked me if I'd go, and I hadn't
Nice.
said yes to Howard in a while, so
That's nice. So where's the show at? Is it a private
I
show?
have no idea. It's a fundraiser for their junior A hockey team. The Renfrew Wolves.
Okay,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're in Renfrew or Renfrew adjacent and you hear of a comedy show on this coming Saturday, it's probably the one that Clint is on. I don't think
Yes.
there's another one that'll be happening. If you're in the Barhaven area, there's a show that I am tertiarily producing that will be at the Royal Oak here in Barhaven on this coming Saturday. Wafik Nasrallah will be featuring, and JFL featuring comic Janelle Niles will also be on there as well, so you can see her and ask yourself the same question as why you can check that out too. Other than that, we will be back next week to talk about
Hey, you didn't ask Emmett what he's doing.
Yeah, what are you doing, Emmett?
Emmett, what are you doing? I thought
Ask
I did
Emmett
ask
about
you.
his week.
Oh, I'm pretty much just gonna go to Meow on Tuesday.
You fucker! Are you bringing anybody or something?
No,
Oh.
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
cool,
actually
okay.
I'm going to Montreal. Me and George are going to Montreal all week, so we
Oh,
got
hell
some
yeah.
gigs there.
Nice.
Say all week?
Yeah, we're going tomorrow till like Thursday, I think. Or
Oh, fuck yeah,
You
that's
guys are
awesome.
staying there?
Yeah,
With who?
I don't know. George set it up.
Oh God.
Whoa,
Jesus.
okay. So a prostitute then.
Yeah.
You'll be staying with a sex worker, yes.
So
So we're at the Nest on Wednesday and
Fuck yeah.
some
that's
other
cool.
gigs in between.
nice.
Tash is on Wednesday and the Nest too. So
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Montreal.
We really okay. So Emmett, Godspeed. We will pray for your safe return to Ottawa, because who knows, when you go to Georgia Silly to Montreal, and he has a place for you to stay. Okay, all right. We'll have a good time. Other than that, catch us. Follow Embarrassing Humans on Facebook. We'll post the next event in a couple days, and we'll see you guys all back here next Sunday. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for joining
Thank
us.
you.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.